The Bruins take advantage of some lack of discipline, at least according to the officials, by the Carolina Hurricanes in game number 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Mike Petraglia alongside Evan Marinofsky. All right, Evan, look, there's going to be a lot of talk on the Carolina side that the officiating was not consistent in the third period. A penalty by Jordan Staal for boarding, and then 2 very questionable calls against Dougie Hamilton. If you're the Bruins, you can see where at least one of them, with the elbow high on an oncoming Bruin player into the boards, would be called against Dougie Hamilton. The other one for interference with the puck at the skate of David Backes, that's a little more questionable.
There were a lot of questionable penalties. I mean, as we've all seen throughout these playoffs, the officiating's been neither here nor there. It hasn't been great.
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent's the perfect word. There's no sufficient rules on interference and high sticks. It's all over the place. Dougie Hamilton after the game said both penalties. Someone asked, is it undisciplined? Is it, pressure? He's like, it's neither. They weren't penalties. He wouldn't comment on the referees though, which, as a player you get fined if you do that, or I think you do. But at any rate, Dougie has a point. He had the elbow high, and then he had the remind me the other penalty.
Interference with the puck at the skate of David Backes.
Yeah, and so he has a total point. I mean, those 2 penalties got the Bruins the win. I mean, the Bruins scored 2 power play goals off those. I mean, credit to the Bruins. They came through in the big moment in those 2 power plays, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, I don't blame Dougie for getting all mad about it because, again, that gave the Bruins the win.
Okay, let me flip it the other way around, though. The Bruins deserve credit for taking advantage. Like you're saying, Marcus Johansson really with a great second effort in the putback goal, the first power play goal of the 2 power play goals in a 28-second span that gave the Bruins the lead in the third period. That was point number 1, and 28 seconds later, it was Patrice Bergeron netting the go-ahead marker in this 5-2 win for the Bruins in game number 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. This Garden Report on Ice brought to you by the great folks at betonline.ag. Go to clnsmedia.com/win and use that promo code CLNS50 for a 50% cashback bonus on your first deposit. All right, it's interesting that we're talking about discipline from defensemen in this game because, of course, Charlie McAvoy sat out this game, serving a 1-game suspension for his hit on Josh Anderson of the Columbus Blue Jackets in game number 6 of the previous series. And what do you know? Stephen Kampfer comes in and scores the game's first goal to give the Bruins a 1-0 lead.
You really can't write a script like that. I tweeted out that it's like all these random Bruins defensemen get these big first goals in these games. There was Wade Redden in 2013, Matt Bartkowski in 2013, and now Stephen Kampfer in 2019. And Bruins fans, there's a little trend there. 2013, they went to the Cup. 2019 seems like it could happen. But at the same time, it's just so funny. Kampfer comes in, so much poise. I mean, the guy hasn't played in however long, so long. Comes in, great, receives the pass perfectly from Johansson. It was a great pass. Receives it perfectly. Great shot, beats Mrazek blocker side. I mean, you literally could not script. I mean, when that happened, I was like, oh my God, like that just happened because you don't expect that. I mean, they used to do it here, back in the old days here at the Garden. They used to say, text who you think, score the first Bruins goal. Yep. And I guarantee if you did that tonight, 0 people would have said Stephen Kampfer. And it's so funny to me to think that in these games, Stephen Kampfer is the guy who scores the first goal. And what's funny is, up until the third period, that was the only offensive strike the Bruins had.
What's also interesting is I thought the Bruins exhaled a bit too much and allowed, after a really terrific 4 minutes to start this game, allowed Carolina's speed and their stick-to-itiveness along the boards and kind of playing sneaky, like Tuukka Rask said after the game. They're a sneaky type of team, and if you let them hang around the net, they've got enough skill to put the puck in the net.
They're very good, and I think a lot of Bruins people are overlooking the Hurricanes, and I don't blame people for that because it's the Hurricanes. You don't really think a lot about them, but the reality is they're an incredible 5-on-5 team. Puck possession-wise, there's nobody better in the playoffs right now, and they showed that tonight. I mean, for 2 periods, they beat the Bruins. I mean, they were, on the scoreboard, they were up 2-1 after 2, but if you just watch the game, the Hurricanes were a much better team. I mean, on defense, they have something going right now because they still have it going. They still have the defensive game plan working. The 2 goals that the Bruins scored to tie and go ahead were power play goals. So, again, the Bruins won tonight off special teams, but it goes back to the fact that 5-on-5, the Hurricanes were just the better team tonight.
Include
Won.
right, and the Bruins, the Carolina Hurricanes took the lead midway through the second period. Greg McKegg skating in on Tuukka Rask and beating him just before the pipe came off its the goal came off its moorings. And then immediately after that goal that made it 2-1 Carolina, they sustained the rush and almost had a 3-1 lead. If it weren't for Tuukka Rask, it would have been 3-1, 4-1 very easily.
Yeah, Rask had a great game. I mean, it gets overlooked because it's 5-2. People look at the box score, they think, oh, the Bruins scored a bunch of goals, the power play. Rask played tremendous. There were a few saves tonight that were unbelievable. He did get lucky on a few. There was the 3-on-2 at the end of the second period, I believe. It happened on a power play for the Bruins. The Canes had a shorthanded 3-on-2. They hit the post, so the Bruins got very lucky with that. But Tuukka Rask played unbelievable. There were some huge saves tonight. A lot of people questioned whether or not he'd be able to continue his dominance from the last two series into this one. 100% he did, and I see no signs of stopping.
All right, the Bruins get 2 days off to savor this game number 1 victory over Carolina to take a 1-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Game number 2 is set for TD Garden here behind us on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Before the series shifts to Raleigh, North Carolina for games 3 and 4. Be sure to follow all of our coverage on Twitter at Bruins CLNS and, of course, online at clnsmedia.com. Inside TD Garden, he's Evan Marinofsky. I'm Mike Petralia, CLNS Media.